Instagram has some kind of box, and if it doesn't work, don't worry. We just go with the flow and do it on Zoom, right?
Okay,
I
perfect.
will just do the live stream like that, and then I will explain that it's not working.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so now I'm connecting. So excited. Oh my gosh.
Me too.
Okay, so now I'm supposed to be live.
Okay.
I'm seeing myself, but I don't see anyone joining me live. Yes, so of course you are here, and this is perfect. So let's start.
Okay, so it says I just requested. I don't know if you can see
Yeah.
it there.
Okay, so I will just maybe start with a short introduction for our viewers. Welcome everyone to today's session, Redefining the Status Quo, with my super exciting guest, Emily Wilcox. I cannot wait to have that conversation with her, because I'm already like so super hyped about what she's going to say. And yeah, really, because I know it will be just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah, so I will just invite Emily now to join, and let's see if it works, because sometimes the Instagram is going crazy. So
Yes, it says that it's working, and I want to share it to my page too once it's on. Okay.
Okay.
Yay,
Yes.
there we go.
Can you hear me well, Emily?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Yeah. How about you?
That's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So welcome everyone again. And today's session is a very special conversation of us both, me and Emily. We were already doing something like that before, because she was a guest of the Bold Feminine Leaders Summit back in September 22. And I am so excited because Emily has introduced something very special to her business, which we will be talking about today. And I cannot wait to get to know more about this. But before we get into the topic, I just want to introduce her to those of you who don't know her, because maybe there are some of you who really don't know Emily yet. So she's the pioneer of the sliding scale investment model, which we are going to talk about today. But besides that, she's also a mother, she's entrepreneur, she's a mentor, and she's a money healer. So this combination sounds really exciting to me, because I'm a mother as well, and I'm sure that here are many moms and entrepreneurs who have this creative kind of vibe, and I can feel that vibe from Emily too. And to me, she's a very innovative person who breaks, so to say, the rules and goes beyond what it's actually possible now in the industry, and she's not afraid to do this. So I'm really excited to this conversation. So welcome, Emily, and maybe you want to say something to our viewers as well.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. Gosh, I appreciate your energy so much and everything that you're building. And I think it takes a special person to just like see something that you like on the internet and be like, hey, we need to be talking about this. I want to share this with my audience. And so I just love that about you. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and I feel very honored to be here.
Yes, I feel very humbled, and I feel like this is something that more people have to know about, because we need to have the courage to start new things and to try new things. Otherwise, we won't change anything. So that's why I really want to speak with someone who does it and who really embodies this and can speak from his or her own experience. So yeah, I'm so excited, and I'm also thank you for kind words. So let's get into the topic, because I'm sure many of our viewers are really asking themselves, what is actually the sliding scale investment model, and how did you come to the realization that it is actually something that you want to introduce into your business?
Yeah. So I own multiple businesses, and one is an Amazon sales agency. And so for years, we've been working with e-commerce brands to help them grow their sales on the Amazon channel. And we've often used a revenue share model as part of the component. And so I was used to, in that part of my business, there being this component where it's like, when you make more, we make more. And that that alignment of interest being really important, right? Um, and so as I was reimagining my high level mastermind for this year and really just like inviting Source in to co-create something new, and, from the name, the energy, the structure, the pricing, like I really just felt very open and receptive. And, and I think what for me was helpful, and this is something that I often talk to my clients about, is like when we ask different questions, we get different answers, right? And so sometimes when we just ask like, what's the price that I'm feeling? We get one answer to that. When we ask a question like, how can I best serve my audience with pricing? How can I serve the entrepreneur that's getting started and the entrepreneur that's further along? Like in this container, what are some creative ways to price this? Then our subconscious or our soul, and the part that's co-creating with the divine, really starts thinking about this differently and starts bringing in new ideas. And so that was really how the sliding scale investment came to be. And as soon as it landed, I was like, yes, this feels like taking a really beautiful piece from another business model and applying it to the coaching industry.
Wow, this is so exciting. And I must say, I had a very similar experience due to some failures of investments I have done. And I also have been asking myself, but I have not been seeing this whole picture yet. And then I saw your offer and I was like, wow, this is it. Like, this is so, like, it feels not only humbling, because you are creating something that is beneficial to all parties, and it's so like, it's really soothing to our nervous system. And just looking at it, it was like, yeah, I feel like my nervous system is soothed, and I would love to know more about this. So what I'm really curious about is like, what does that tell about the business relationships? Because you have already said you have experience in the other kind of business you're doing, and you see the long-term effect, right?
Yeah.
I would think that there is something like a mutual respect, or like we are seeing ourselves on the same kind of level when we are
Yeah.
doing this. So could you please tell more how it looks like in long term?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting experiment doing this with coaching, because I will say in our agency, it's a done for you agency. And so while the brand owner is really important, right? Because they're putting out the products, they're making sure there's inventory, they're approving the advertising budget. We're sort of doing the rest. And so we have a lot of control. And in a coaching relationship, obviously one of the big variables is the client and who they are and how they show up and how they receive the coaching and how they take action. But, now that I've been coaching for a year and a half, I will say, I actually haven't had any clients in my world that don't want to change and don't want to take action and aren't coachable. Like, I really feel like the clients are doing their part and they really are showing up for it. But, sometimes there is kind of this feeling, and I think the coaching industry has gone a little too far in the direction of protecting the coach and
Yeah.
not doing enough to protect or even just like more fairly incentivize the client. And so that's something that I'm looking to, make my own little impact with, because often, with coaches, whether they have agreements or not in place, essentially the vibe is, I'm going to get paid no matter what as the coach. It doesn't matter what is happening in your business or what's happening financially. If I don't like the vibe, I get to drop you. But if you don't like the vibe, you don't get to drop me. You have to honor your word, and you have to stay in this commitment, and you have to make your payments until the end of time. And it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I think, I've been on both sides of things, and I do think that we need to be fair, and it can't just be like, I'm the client and I'm going to commit to a 12-month thing. And if I don't like it after 1 month, I'm out, bye. And I don't even, I can just send you an email and stop payment. Like, there does need to be some in between, but I do like the idea with the sliding scale investment where it's like, we get to grow together. And that I'm also financially incentivized. Like, when you do better, I do better as well. And so it's not like I get paid the exact same amount, whether your business sucks and is floundering and is having all kinds of problems, or if it's like 10x. And so I think naturally just we appreciate that energetic alignment and alignment of interests.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking like, why should I charge my clients something that I am myself not feeling comfortable with, just because it's like that in the industry and I'm not even knowing what I want because I have been exposed only to this one way. So this model, and what I want to encourage our viewers to, is like, it's all about what feels right to you. And as you already mentioned, that it's beneficial for both sides. So it's not only one or the other. We can grow together, we can do it together, and we can improve together. And since this is an experiment, it requires from us that we like commit to the idea of the experiment, and we will improve as well. And we can make mistakes, and maybe it will be a mistake to do this, but at least we will find out what can we make better. So I'm all about that kind of energy, just to improve and see what are the failures, but there is just so much potential in failures to uncover and what we can do better. That's why I love the idea of the sliding scale investment. And you were talking about the structuring of your offers. So how does that come together with your model?
Yeah, here's the thing. I start with kind of like what I want and what I like. And so I actually like a mastermind where there's a mixture of levels. So, sometimes you'll see like, oh, this is just a mastermind for people that are making, 50 to 75K or whatever. And like, there's this idea that like, oh, if we're all at the same income, somehow that's better. And this is something I actually learned and appreciate from one of my previous mentors, Melanie, which is like, actually having variation in the mastermind helps everybody, because it's like, that person who's coming in and who's like scrappy and building it from the start, like they're offering to the group like so much passion, enthusiasm, bravery, like sometimes like that hustle that we've forgotten about over time. And when they're coming in with questions, they're reminding some of the more seasoned entrepreneurs in the group, like how far they've come, which is really awesome. And vice versa, right? The women who are further along are able to like offer inspiration to the person that isn't as far. So I actually think we really benefit from having different types of businesses together and different income levels together. But then the question is, well, how do you do it from an investment perspective, right? Because what you don't want to happen is that the people that are making $100,000 a month, it's like such an easy breezy investment for them that they're not even showing up for it. Or conversely, that it's such a huge investment for the person that's starting out that their nervous system is completely dysregulated. They're in absolute fight or flight, like survival mode. that's not great either. And so it's like, we're never going to perfectly nail it. Like, I do believe that at the beginning, you're going to have to invest at like a higher percentage of your income than later on. But there is kind of this sweet spot of like getting the right stretch so that universe is like, oh, okay, you're making some moves. We're paying attention now. And also honoring the nervous system and not extending yourself to the point where you're in survival mode, which is not helpful for growing a business. And so when I just was like, how do we put this all together where we've got, different types of businesses, different income levels, that like asking myself those questions and tapping into that vibe, I think is like the first part. I think sometimes people, when it comes to offer building, they just get too into the nitty gritty right away, which is like, what exactly am I going to offer? And what exactly is it going to be priced? And I'll give one other example with this. So we're talking about my mastermind Container Fruition. And I asked myself, like, what do I love about other masterminds and where have I seen people struggle? And one of the things that came out of that is I've noticed that people struggle when something feels like way too tender to bring it into the group. And so either they're withholding it, they're saving it for a private call. And then it's like, it's tricky, right? Because they're not getting any help in the moment. By the time they save it for the call, it feels like it's past, but they kind of feel like they're not getting the support that they need. And so one of the things I added that I've not seen in mastermind structured like this before is one day a month, like you can just pop into private voice and text chat with me. So it's like, if you've got that thing that feels like, well, I really need support on this right now, but like, oh my gosh, it has to do with my spouse, or it has to do with mental illness, or it has to do with a substance, or like just something that feels like I'm not ready to bring it into the group yet. You can get support on it. And often what I find is like, once we've had a chance to process through a little bit, and the part of us that's scared that like sharing this is going to risk our belonging or what have you, then often we actually can bring it a little bit more processed into the group and then like build more sisterhood around it.
Yeah. Yeah, I must admit I have experienced exactly the opposite. I was bringing a very, very emotional stuff after processing my emotional way, because I'm manifester by human design, but no one would engage. So I felt
Oh,
already like I was too much and I was not belonging.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was the opposite. So I really see your point, right?
Yeah.
So was there any fear before you decided to create this very new thing? And did you have like thoughts, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? Maybe I'm risking too much.
So my fear almost came before the decision to reimagine, because essentially what was happening, like, and I just did the numbers on this one mastermind container accounted for like 60% of my income or 50% of my income last year. Like it was like $100,000 cash. Okay. So some people, it seemed like we're going to be finishing. They hadn't told me that they planned on continuing, and their year would have been up towards the end of the year. And so it's like, I knew the container needed to change anyway. I hadn't had a lot of people joining it, even though it was a rolling admission. And so it felt like it either needs to be reimagined, or I need to say, I'm not going to run a high level mastermind like this right now. And that was where there was fear. And it's like, often when you're in it, you're kind of trying to figure out like, okay, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid of losing the money, or like disappointing a client, or like, what about the clients that aren't finished? And so then they're going to have to like navigate switching into this sort of new group. Like that was the kind of mind stuff that was happening. And so ultimately I just had to decide, like, if it doesn't work, then we'll grow the business a different way in 2023. But like also the status quo isn't going to work next year either. So like we're going to change one way or another.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, once I got to that and the ideas started coming through, like I was so hype about it. that I wasn't scared that other people wouldn't be. I was like, oh, this is really good. Like people are going to love this.
Yeah, I'm so amazed by you taking the step forward and leading and being the first one to do this. And I'm also like curious how it works and what are your further insights on this. So if you're not against it, I would love to continue because I guess we don't have any questions on Zoom, but we can maybe take questions here on Instagram if anyone
Yeah.
would love to, or if there are not any questions, you could just talk about something that comes up in terms of it. What do you think it's important to mention as well?
Yeah. So as we're waiting for questions here, I just want to say shout out to Julia Wells because she's another coach who is doing something similar. Um, and I did see that she was doing it. But what I noticed with hers is that she was like posting publicly a lot of like questions that people were having. And like it seemed like you were gonna have to have a Zoom info session just for people to like understand the investment. And so I did take inspiration from that and also felt like, can we simplify it? I don't think a sliding scale has to be
Yeah,
tricky. But one of the questions that I got in my mastermind was like, hey, how are you planning on doing the true up? And are you worried at all about, like people giving you the honest numbers? Because essentially what will happen is
yeah,
at the beginning of every month, you're paying 1,111. And then after the month closes, my assistant will email you and just say, hey, how much cash did you collect last month? And you'll email her back and tell her. And if it's an amount that then puts you, it looks like
yeah, it got
our,
disconnected, but
oh,
doesn't
okay.
matter. You can just continue.
Okay. So if the amount that you collected puts you into a different tier, then we just charge your card for the difference, right? It's not tricky. And am I worried about trying to validate the numbers? No, I'm not. I sort of feel like if you're at a point where you're going to lie to your mentor about how much cash you've collected because you don't want to pay, like the whole container is screwed for you anyway.
Yeah,
You're not going to get the value out of a mastermind where you
yeah,
can't celebrate your financial wins because you're trying to circumvent payment. And I just don't worry about that. I feel like the types of clients that I attract, like that is not the vibe at all. Like they want to celebrate their wins. They want to talk openly and honestly about money. And so, we'll see.
yeah,
I mean, I could be proven wrong, but I don't think so.
yeah. I also was asking myself the same question, how it's like, but I got to kind of the same question, the same answer as you. Like, why would I want to, as a client, want to join a mastermind to do this? Like, sooner or later, it will be just like a conscious, like you have to. Like you will be aware of the fact that you are doing this while the other people are not doing this. So for me, it will not make sense. But
Right.
yeah, I think what is really important about this, that it kind of brings a very new energy and a very new quality to relationships in business, like
Mm,
trust, equality, and like as you already said, growing in togetherness and growing like also from experience, from mistakes, from failures, which is all about entrepreneurship.
yeah, absolutely. And, one other thing that I'll say that I offered in this container that I've just recently started doing is a weekly payment plan. And, not everybody will take it, but that also helps to honor cash flow. And I will tell you, this is something that when we leave the coaching world and we go into e-commerce and product-based businesses, like cash flow is king. And so having your outflow kind of mirror your inflow, but even a lot of my clients run agencies, they've got payroll, and cash flow is a thing. So it's like, great. If you want to, hey, Lucas, if you want to pay weekly, you get to pay weekly. And it's like, it comes out to like, I think it's like $280 a week or something like that, which is pretty incredible for, high level coaching that includes, one-on-one mentorship.
Yeah, exactly. I see some comments. If you have any questions, we have still like 5 minutes left. So please comment, please ask questions. We are not talking about the new model that Emily has introduced to her business, the sliding scale investment model, which I am really excited about to see where it will lead us. So I'm so really like hyped about this. You can see it, and I cannot wait to have this opportunity to know more about how it works. So I will follow your work, and I will definitely want to find out more about this. And maybe I will try this myself, and also like see, maybe we can make something like cooperation to improve this.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And, just shout out to all of the entrepreneurs in this space that are kind of zigging while everyone else is zagging. I'll also say like Kiara Matsuko, she's at Bold Self on Instagram. She's a friend of mine, and we were in a mastermind together last year. And, she made her like kind of year of programs into a month by month pass that cost 444. And, this is at a time when like everyone's pass was over $1,000 a month, and you had to commit for the whole year.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so cool. And, it was just like a rebellious thing. And she was like, I don't like being locked into things. So I'm not going to lock other people into things. And, just making it like a more easy, affordable yes for her audience. And I think she immediately had like 70 or 80 people jump in, which, when you do the math on that, she was at like 30 or 40K in recurring revenue just from this one offer. And it was like an example of where when you follow your intuition and you do something different than what the status quo is, it's like, boom, immediately, you're rewarded.
Yeah. So to summarize, what are the key things about finding your own business investment model? What you have to consider, and what is the best thing to look after?
Yeah. So I think step one is just like tuning into what you desire in the container, who you want to be there, who you want to serve, what you want the vibe to be, and just really finding more ways to stretch your receptivity. Often whether we're not realizing it, but we're taking a cookie cutter business model. And so just like really giving ourselves a permission slip to start with a blank slate and say, like, if everything was on the table, what would I want to do? And then get into a co-creative space, whether that's like meditation, dancing, hypnosis, journaling, and then just like seeing what comes through and asking yourself more creative questions so that you can tap into this infinite universe where everything is possible, not just the 5 ways that you've seen someone else run the business.
Yeah.
And then I think just trusting that like our businesses are an experiment. So if you get an idea that comes through and it sounds fun, try it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with all the points that you have made. And I cannot wait to see more of us, of entrepreneurs, taking the bold step and trying to experiment, taking the risk and learning from the mistakes, because it's all about improvements for me.
Yeah.
And I think the real the real change happens only when we have the courage, when we are bold enough to take the first step and to question some things that are maybe not suitable for all, right? So
Yeah.
the change begins with us, and I'm so grateful and so humbled by this conversation. I loved it so much. Thank you so much, Emily, for your time and for your effort and for everything that you're bringing to the table in our industry. And I'm so looking forward to more, to see more of what is becoming of your newest offer, Fruition. Maybe you would love to talk a bit about this, because I know you were offering something until someday in January. So maybe just talk shortly about that, because I'm really curious about that as well.
Yeah. So Fruition is this hybrid one-on-one mastermind container. The doors close January 15th. Then we'll be in a closed container until the end of June. And there will be an opportunity then to jump in for the second half of the year. So it's really an opportunity to be in close proximity, to get good business mentorship, to be in intimate sisterhood with other women in business. Again, I've got a woman in there who had her first 7-figure sales year last year, not cash. I have another woman who had a $500,000 cash year
Wow.
in there. And, there are women that are just starting out. There's a woman who is a total badass in her corporate career, but really wants to step more into her coaching and her passion this year. And so it's a diverse space, but you get, very hands-on and intimate support from me and from the other women in there. And we're going to do like a live retreat at my house halfway through the year as well. So I'm doing the enrollment really differently. I've always done it where like any containers you want in, you just ask for the link and I give it to you. With this one, it's like you get to go to the page. It's emilywilcox.com/fruition. You get to like feel into the vibe. If we've worked together before, then yes, you can slide into my DMs and say, I want in. Otherwise, you book an alignment call. We'll get on Zoom. Like we'll take some time to get to know each other. And then what I've been doing is sitting in ritual after that. So like just really connecting into like my inner guidance and my guides, and just really making sure that it feels like a yes on my side.
Yeah.
And I've had some no's actually. And
Yeah, that's
it's
important to acknowledge, actually, right?
yeah. And so
Yeah.
it's felt good to just like take it slower. I think again in this like hype machine of online coaching, it's like, oh, here's the link. Here's the link. Did you buy yet? Like there's this
Yeah.
like feeling of needing to take fast action. And it's actually
Yeah.
felt good to like take it slow and say, like, this is more about the right fit and making sure that it really feels like a yes for both of us.
Yeah.
Um, and getting
Exactly.
the right women in so that we can really journey together for the next 6 or 12 months.
Yeah, I love that so much. And as a manifestor, open center, and like having some experiences in this regard, I'm so positively influenced by what you are saying. And I also have noticed for myself that I really want that kind of vibe where I connect intimately with my client,
Yes.
not just like quick short-term relationship. No, I really wanted to unfold and be full of vulnerability and this kind of long-term commitment, right? So
Yeah.
because a business is all about relationships, and if it's only about short-term relationships, it's kind of dysregulating to our nervous system. So
Yeah.
that was my insight as well, and I'm so happy that you were promoting this kind of approach as well. Okay, so if you want to add anything else, please do so. If not, this will be our last 2 minutes, and I don't see any questions, but those of you who may be watching the replay, you can also comment that you are watching the replay, and if you're having any questions, we will make sure to answer those. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Such a pleasure on my side as well, and we will keep in touch. I will get back to you in regards to the recording. The live IG live will be available for 1 week on the Instagram, and then we will see, because it's something new I'm also experimenting with. I don't know yet what I will be doing with this, but this just came through, and it was kind of a spontaneous thing for me to do, and we will see where it leads us. So
Definitely.
thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Evening, morning.
Morning for me. Morning for me.
Okay, so for me it's evening. Have a wonderful morning, and yeah, thank you so much. So I don't know if the whole recording on Instagram was saved, but if it's not,
Yeah, it
okay.
should.
It's how it is. Like we will leave it like this. And when you have the whole recording, you can share with your community as well.
Yeah, I'll put this on YouTube. I've got like almost, I think, 400 subscribers there, and make sure that it's
400.
Yeah.
Cool.
So awesome. Well, this is so fun. I loved it. Thank you so much for the offer to connect and share.
If you have any ideas, like whenever to bring to the table, because this platform is all about new ideas and setting the trends, bringing innovative things to the industry, to make people more aware about those things, then feel free to reach out, and I will be inviting more people to this.
There's somebody you might like. What is her first name? Susie. What is her last name? I just saw her post something. No, I know Susie Ashworth, but this is who it is. It's Susie Coffer. I don't know if you're friends with
her branding.
Yeah. She's really been,
because I haven't seen the whole...
Yeah, it's SUSI. And then you know what I'll do? Let me see. Are we Facebook friends? So I could tag you.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Let me see. I don't
on Facebook under the same initials. Ava, Zoe, Zigamond.
Okay.
Maybe I will just find you because it's easier then.
Do you have pink hair in your picture?
No. No.
Oh, different Ava Zoe.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, find me and then I'll tag you in hers. But she's been posting some really good stuff about like just client contracts, and she's shifting her model to just be like, come when you want, stay as long as you want, leave whenever you want. And she might be a good one to chat with as well.
Yeah, definitely. I am already on Facebook and I'm searching because I wanted to tag it today. I was posting on my fan page, but somehow it didn't find anyone.
Yeah, I think maybe we're just not connected on here yet.
Okay, but I also see like one Emily I see you. Emily June Wilcox.
Yeah. So. Okay, send me a friend request and then I'll accept, and then I'll tag you in Susie's stuff too.
And by the way, you look so gorgeous on the pictures, and the new branding is so suiting you so well.
Thank you.
I love that, and I love the colors. Turquoise and gold is like my go-to.
Yes, I mean some of that was so spontaneous. Like there was just a gorgeous turquoise. It was like a sliding gate.
Yeah.
And the photographer was like, oh my God, we have to take pictures by that. And I was like, and then it turned out to be one of my favorite pictures. So I know I was kind of laughing, like, you spend all this time thinking like, oh, what are my brand colors and blah, blah, blah. And then you just end up taking pictures in front of like someone's gate at their house. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is me now all over the internet.
Yeah.
But like, that's how it works.
Right? To do this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Okay,
yay. So now we're connected on Facebook too. Cool. Okay. Well, just Shoot me over the recording when you have
Yeah.
it, and I'll start sharing it in all my spaces.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this.
Me
Okay.
too. You
Yeah.
look gorgeous, by the way. Like, oh my gosh, that blazer
Me.
with that necklace. Yes, it's
Thank you.
stunning. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I kind of became lazy over the Christmas, and I just was wearing the usual thing, but I'm definitely going to upgrade my wardrobe as well for the next time, because I'm preparing something new for my Instagram as well. But I'm taking it slowly, and I don't have the whole picture yet. So yeah, I'm so
I
excited
love
about that
it.
as well.
Yes.
So
Well, let's stay in touch. And if there's anything
yeah.
that I can do to help you grow your business, please let me know.
Yeah, I will definitely reach out when I feel it's the right moment, because for now it's like a lot. But I can at least support you this way, and it's the only way for now that I can do. But I know it will become better. I know it. So
Yes,
yeah, I'm rooting for you,
absolutely.
and I cannot
Thank
wait
you.
to see more and just keep doing your work. I love it so much, and you have my support. So whenever you want to reach out, just reach out, and we will create something new.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. All
Yeah,
right, let's enjoy the rest of your day.
night.
Night. Enjoy
Yeah,
your night.
and you enjoy your day. Bye bye.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.